The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, the disparity in this game, it just seems to grow with each possession here, Charles. They are really struggling. They have not put up a single.
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by Jalen Johnson.
And they will finally bring this run back to an end, but not before he's down inside the 5-yard line at the 4.
Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter. It would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line, 2nd and goal. They pitch it out to Montgomery, and he is going to lose yardage here. Give him a loss of 6 yards, and it brings up 3rd down.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Now, they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal.
On 3rd, here's an option play right. And he is going to lose yardage here. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now.
Well, Fields is off, and on comes Cairo Santos for the Chicago field goal.
This will be spotted at the 20, so it's a 30-yard attempt. Santos' kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for...
And now here is another interception. And he is going to bring this back inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
Well, they've got the huge lead. Now they have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Well, up big here in the 4th quarter, up really big. That pass and incompletion, I don't think they needed the completion, but Charles, this is an offense right now that they're just having fun. They're clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't need a completion. They certainly don't need any more points, but they're not going to turn them down. They're going to continue to run what they have in their playbook, and they still want to run it efficiently.
No, Fields is off, and on comes Cairo Santos for the Chicago field goal.
Santos' kick is up and through, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, they come through with 3 after forcing the turnover, but CD, second half, you're starting inside the red zone. Obviously, they would have liked 6 out of that.
Absolutely, because that's all you're thinking is how do you get it into the end zone? You want the field goal to be the last resort. In this case, they gave it a great try, but did have to settle for 3.
And this return would net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, I hate to say it, but at this point, I don't really know that they're playing to win with this deficit in the 4th quarter. They're just trying to erase that 0.
And my goodness, another interception.
Kyler Gordon picks it off. And the Bears are going to take possession here at their own 33.
CD, this defense, man, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
The incompletion there stops the clock. Any surprise they're throwing here late?
Ordinarily, yes, because you would think enough is enough. They've got plenty of lead, but I've seen this a bunch of times as well. The defense is going to crowd the line of scrimmage. If you just hand it off inside, you're getting your running back popped a lot as well. Sometimes the defense dictates it. If they're going to crowd it, you may have no other choice but to throw.
Try to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down.
Partner, in the sportsmanship handbook, there's something to be said for calling the dogs off in a blowout. But these defenders, they also know this is the NFL, and it's their job to stop them, whether they're in the game or they're down by a handful of touchdowns.
Looking downfield for Jones. And now here's another interception.
Picked up by Jalen Armour-Davis. And the Ravens are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
And you have to wonder, Charles, a game like this, 5 interceptions, what does this do to the psyche of a young quarterback?
Well, based on the fact that he's still out there and he threw a 5th interception, I'm wondering if his head coach believes that he's really strong mentally and wants him to play through it. Because otherwise, you need to get him out and fight another day, because this could leave lasting damage if he keeps throwing interceptions.
He'll swing this out to Dobbins.
So back-to-back plays, each get nothing. And now third down and 6 to go.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Now it's Jackson. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. And my goodness, another interception. Eddie Jackson picks it.
The utter domination here just continues. This defense, I don't know what more we can say all around about their performance.
Well, it certainly feels in this game like maybe they're facing a Canadian defense. 12 guys on the field. It feels like there's an extra on every snap because they have really struggled to make headway through the air.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple.
Read option. Here's Montgomery.
And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And they'll run the option on 3rd and short yardage.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there. 14 yards that time, but a first down on the keeper. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
They're still throwing the football here, and obviously the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense, because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
From the gun on 3rd down, Fields.
And now here is another interception.
And the Ravens are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it, Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe...
And my goodness, another interception.
Picked up by Jaquan Brisker.
And they will score a pick 6 for a Bears touchdown. Santos now to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
Duvernay now going to bring it out. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going.
At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. Silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run to have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
Hey, report. No, we seen you. Yeah.
Now Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
Hey. Report.
Jackson from the shotgun. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And now here is another interception.
Picked off by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line.
Yet another mistake after the interception there. And, guys, you look up at the scoreboard. They just got to be thinking this one cannot get over fast enough.
It certainly can't. And also what happens when you get this big of a deficit, you're supposed to make all the right throws, right? You're supposed to try and obviously get the ball to your own guys. But being down this big, you also take even more chances. And in this situation, that hasn't paid off for them at all.
On the other sideline, jubilation and laughter.
And a really nice play call there to start the drive, especially if you're a team that has a little bit of a reputation for throwing it downfield. You come out and you think maybe you can catch them off guard a little bit, and they did. Little screen pass, backdoored them, and that time worked well for a solid gain.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Now it looks like he'll throw here. Dancing to his left. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Another try after the first down sack. Fields under pressure, and they got to him again. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it with 16 seconds remaining on the clock.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Well, at this juncture, CD, you normally see teams pack in the passing game. They've got the huge lead. Not them, though. They're still taking their shots.
I remember reading in past history, there was a college football coach in the Hall of Fame whose nickname was Close the Gates of Mercy. But he wasn't really big on that. He was big on going ahead and scoring. He's kind of reincarnated right here. We're watching it in front of us.
Looking downfield for Jones. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The Bears tried it on fourth down, unable to convert. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. So Jackson will head to the Ravens sideline, and on comes Justin Tucker for the field goal try. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. Here's Justin Tucker now for the Raven field goal try. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. He had the distance, but it's no good. Wide to the right, and they will remain well behind. Well, a tough day for this offense continues. One of their best chances to get on the scoreboard there, couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to happen for them today, does it? I mean, opportunity after opportunity, play after play has gone against them the entire game. They probably feel a little bit like Schlep Rock, got that black cloud over their heads.
He'll get that complete to Khalil Herbert. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
Hey, didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.
Too much.